Bharatiya Janata Party has decided a crackdown on its national spokesperson, Nupur Sharma. Nupur Sharma has now been suspended from the Saffron Party's membership for her controversial comments against Prophet Muhammad. There was a letter served to the leader where the BJP said the comments made by the leader violates constitution of the Bharatiya Janata Party. A case has been registered against Nupur Sharma for her comments, which she has defended. Now, this comes after, remember, there was violence in Kanpur, and one of the reasons of that appeared to be those comments by Nupur Sharma. BJP, not just her, has expelled BJP leader from Delhi, Naveen Kumar Jindal, for tweeting about the Prophet. So that's the big news coming in. On one side, you see Nupur Sharma there, who's now been suspended from the primary membership of the party. Remember, she's one of the most prominent, visible faces, young netas of the BJP, one of the TV ace faces with regard to spokespersons reacting on issues. Very vocal on several issues, but this time it appears to have got her into trouble with the BJP cracking a whip, stating before her suspension with an elaborate statement that we respect, the BJP respects all religions and no communal comments will be permitted. Now that she's been suspended, it's not just her. Remember, there is also another neta of the BJP Delhi, Naveen Kumar, who's also been suspended from the BJP. So two netas there. He had tweeted, he had put something on social media, while she had, during a discussion, gave a comment on the Prophet. But the fallout on one side is, of course, a violence that was reported in Kanpur. And one of the reasons was this. BJP has taken an action against the neta, but our reporters on the ground covering the party are also saying there were international ramifications that have also now been taken into consideration. Nupur Sharma, first reaction coming in, nothing about the suspension of the party, but says, I have a security threat. I request everyone to respect my privacy, specifically with regard to my address. I request not to make my address public because there's a blatant, clear security threat to my family. Remember, after that comment on the Prophet, there had been blatant, direct threats against Nupur Sharma, and she's now stating and continues to claim that there is a security threat on her. So not only the suspension that has come from the BJP, a massive backlash for the party and specifically for Nupur Sharma, but now she said, kindly respect my privacy with regard to the address as my family is facing a security threat. So Paulomi Saha, who broke us that big news, is now joining us on this telecast. Paulomi, so the first reaction that has come from Nupur Sharma, of course, is nothing about the suspension, but primarily about the request to respect her privacy because there are threats, and which is correct. She was receiving some very direct threats since that comment.
Yes, Nupur Sharma, obviously, since she made that comment, has been facing a lot of backlash and, of course, some of them obviously taking a vicious turn as well, rape threats, death threats as well. Cases, of course, were being lodged against her in various police stations as well. So Nupur Sharma, of course, there because the address is being circulated, many people seem to have gotten hold of that order which has gone out from the Bharatiya Janata Party to her, suspending her from the party pending further inquiry. It obviously shows her address. So as a result of which, because of the circulation of that letter, again, her address being public, she is, of course, asking for people to be a little bit more circumspect about sharing that letter, about showing her address, because because it only exacerbates her problems in terms of the threats that she's been receiving. And of course, she has been quite outspoken about it in the past as well. After these comments were made and there was outrage about those comments, she has, of course, spoken about the threats that she's been receiving, and she's only reiterated that particular charge, that indeed, because of those comments, some of those reactions are completely out of line.
So as of now, how do you think this is being seen in the political circles? This is clearly a message to many other young spokespersons to not cross the line, to follow exactly what the BJP wants you to do. There are domestic repercussions, there are international consequences. All of that now clearly will have to have very cautious spokespersons now.
Well, absolutely. You know, Pooja, the way the party works is that when there is a big issue and, spokespersons go on televised debates, etc., there is a certain party line they take, because obviously parties, and it's not just the BJP, it's with every party. You decide what your stand is going to be vis-a-vis that particular issue. Are you going to support it? Are you going to condemn it? How you're going to go about it? And what is going to be the nuanced debate that you're going to put forth in terms of your argument as well. So obviously there's a party line to be followed as well. This was obviously part of the comments that Ms. Sharma made. Obviously did not have the sanction of the Bharatiya Janata Party. It was an off-the-cuff remark that she made while she was engaged in a heated debate with another individual who was on that debate as well, which is when she made these comments, and obviously did not, like I said, have the approval of the party. She didn't, that was not the line that the party was going to take, and hence off the back of those comments and obviously the outrage that those comments saw, you saw no reaction from the Bharatiya Janata Party. You did not see them coming out and supporting her. In fact, very recently I did see a particular portal as well asking her if the party was supporting her as she fought off the backlash that she was facing, and she was very circumspect about her response, which indicated almost that she wasn't receiving that kind of support that was to come from the central leadership as well, which now, now it's quite evident that the party was facing a lot of backlash.
What you're telling us is very important, follow me, that from day one, Nupur Sharma, after that comment, may have expected a certain support from the party that did not come, and that is now led to a suspension as well. But what about another question here, Paulomi? What about being seen as a party that has suddenly buckled, so to say? Has it, do you think that could be one of the views that they have isolated Nupur Sharma, or do you think this is a sensible move looking at different angles, whether domestic or international, that the party has taken, and that is why this disciplinary move has come, or that she's been completely isolated at a time when she would have expected support from the party?
As far as the party is concerned, it has drawn the line. Now, it is to be seen if its core vote bank, its constituency exactly accepts this decision or not, or whether they too agree with the party that Nupur Sharma went a little too far, because at the end of the day, this is a party which is in power. It is a party which espouses the cause of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. It says that it wants to take everyone on board and move on the path of development. So for Nupur Sharma to have taken direct pot shots at a particular religion and a religious figurehead is something which is not in line with the party's stated position. The party might be seen as a Hindu nationalist party. It might be seen as a party which in fact caters to a particular majority vote bank. But that is not the position of the party which is in power. And there are implications to every sort of sentiment that it seems to support or condemn. So it has to weigh all of that as it goes forward. It impacts it in every possible way.
Because on social media we can see that there is a section that appears to be supporting Nupur Sharma in the sense that the party should have supported her, not isolated her. So there is clearly a heated debate on this issue. But Paulomi, just for our viewers, to elaborate on this further, there are two netas who've been cracked the whip by the BJP. Naveen Kumar Jindal, who's a Delhi BJP neta, Nupur Sharma. So can you explain to us who is expelled, who is suspended, are both suspended, are both expelled? Can you put that in perspective?
Now that's very interesting, Pooja, because there are two different types of action which have been taken by the Bharatiya Janata Party. While Naveen Kumar Jindal, who is the BJP media cell head of the Delhi unit of the party, has been expelled from the party, Nupur Sharma has been suspended from the party pending further inquiry. From what it appears, unless we've got the timeline wrong, Ms. Sharma made those comments first. It was the same set of comments that Mr. Jindal made, but he tweeted it out, and she, of course, spoke of it in a televised debate. So why the difference in action is what many would be asking as well. Why has one been expelled and one been suspended pending a further inquiry? So that's going to be an interesting aspect. But to sort of clear the facts, Nupur Sharma has been suspended from the party pending further inquiry. Naveen Kumar Jindal has been expelled from the party.
Very interesting. Paulomi Saha giving us the details of the decision that led the BJP to suspend this young woman you're looking on your screens, Nupur Sharma, who has now been suspended pending inquiry from the party, while another, Naveen Kumar Jindal, has been expelled from the party. Strong decisions being taken by the BJP.